Are you serious? Are you serious? Folks, there's been some very serious accidents out on the highway. We have them down in Florida and also in Oklahoma. We'll start with Oklahoma because the winter storm has turned deadly as the snow and the ice and the wind that's blowing has caused accidents all over Oklahoma. At least 4 people have died in a major winter storm. It blew across the southern plains. Snow and ice have caused hundreds of accidents in Texas and in Oklahoma, and the government buildings and the schools are now shut down with a winter storm warning in effect through Friday or through today. 4 victims died in a weather-related crashes in Oklahoma. Slick roads caused a 21-car pileup in Tulsa Wednesday night that sent at least 2 people to the hospital. And in Wichita Falls, Texas, icy roads caused cars to veer out of control and to flip over. Up to 6 inches of snow has fallen in Shamrock, Texas. They don't know what to do with that, making some roads too dangerous to even navigate. And one Good Samaritan pulled a vehicle out of a ditch and almost caused another accident. Now officials are urging people to stay off the roads. Tracy Terrell from Oklahoma's Department of Transportation said his crews started spreading salt on the roads New Year's Day in preparation for this storm, but the conditions changed so quickly within just a half a mile. The state has 220,000 tons of salt mixed ready to deploy, but the storm was expected to move, and it was a whole lot worse than anybody anticipated. But wait, there's more. Besides the storms and the winter storms out there in Oklahoma and Texas, down in Florida, 2 big rigs and 2 passenger vehicles collided and spilled diesel fuel across the Florida highway last night, sparking a massive fire. It killed 7 people and has injured 8. The wreck happened on Interstate 75, about a mile south of near Gainesville, Florida. The flames were fed by about 50 gallons of diesel. 8 other people taken to the hospital, some of them in critical condition, according to the Gainesville Sun out of Florida. The crash involved a church van from Louisiana that was headed to Orlando, according to reports. The emergency crews extinguished the fire and said they were treating the crash as a homicide investigation. The fire was so intense that authorities said it damaged parts of the road. A spokesman for the Florida Highway Patrol told the Associated Press in a phone interview that their top priorities were to conduct thorough investigation and to identify the deceased victims. There are going to be families that need to be notified that their loved ones have perished. And it's unclear whether the victims were killed in the wreck or whether they burned in the fire, which would make identification even more difficult. The aftermath closed part of the highway in both directions, causing massive delays, and the crash was in the northbound lanes. But southbound lanes were closed to keep the route open for the first responders, according to a tweet from the sheriff's office, and the emergency required all hands on deck. 7 dead, 8 critically injured due to 2 tractor trailers and 2 passenger cars crashing, including a church van. So helicopters were also being sent in. This was a horrific scene. So we have fire and ice. People are dying on our nation's highways due to the chaos and the carnage of the conditions of the road in Oklahoma and the crashes and the fire and the flames down in Florida. I'll be back with more current world events. Please pray for the families of all the victims. Pray for the families of all the victims. And we'll be back with more in just a few minutes. And I really want you to pray for these that are injured, okay? They really need our prayers. They're severely burned and severely injured. We're living in the last days. If you missed last night's broadcast on this with Mike from around the world, the interview talking about the super blood moon and Planet X, this was a powerful program, a live interview with him, and it was last night's program. You don't want to miss it. 52 people came to Jesus Christ at the altar call at the end of that program, and the crowds were right at 3,000 at one point live. And there was a lot of folks realizing that the information that's coming now is to try to help people understand that we're living in the last days and that the events prophesied in the Bible are absolutely coming to pass. Are you saved? Give your life to Jesus Christ. It's almost over.